Down has begun, so this will be game 2. Will Naniwa shut it out, or will Moon win it to force a third map? We are about to find out.
Either way, Moon and Naniwa both have gigantic fan bases across the world. Naniwa for that win at the previous MLG in Dallas, and of course, Moon for his legendary RTS status. Let's see what happens here on game 2. We have Naniwa as the red Protoss, the higher seeded Protoss, the #1 seed at this event. He is in the bottom right as the red Protoss. In the top right, we see Moon as the blue Zerg.
Yeah, and these positions here, Day, are interesting, you know, because we do have, you know, this is a big map, but this can actually be, you know, fairly close in the grand scheme of things. Like, if we look over here, Naniwa, if he does end up going to Colossus Tech, the natural for the Zerg is kind of vulnerable here. He can move up, he can be hitting the extractor, hitting a lot of the drones as well, and the army has to move all the way around and down the ramp in order to get it. So, you know, I would actually say that this favors Naniwa a little bit as far as the positions go.
And Naniwa looks like, again, going to rely on this early expand, but as usual, Naniwa is going to try to leave as little as he can up to luck and guesswork. Going to send that very early probe out, though it is a little bit of a sacrifice mineral-wise. He gains so much in terms of knowledge, and a very, very fortunate, lucky early scout by Naniwa, getting to see the exact position his opponent's at on the first try. So as we go into this base, we see Moon getting himself the spawning pool and the gas up right away. And it's often a little teensy bit of a challenge to defend this front choke as Naniwa on this map.
Yeah, I mean, both of them certainly have their work cut out for them. We're going to see if the Nexus first, and will be Nexus first with the amount of minerals that Naniwa has right now. You know, so again, we start off very, very similar to last time, and we didn't see much aggression out of Moon at all. He kept up his drone production. He just tried to expand off of there and went from there. So Overlord's going to make its way down. We do see the Forge going up at the front for Naniwa, but yeah, that initial scout turned out to be pretty good for him. And even though he did get it out so quick, he still decided to go for that Nexus first despite the dispositions.
Yep. Do love the fact that Naniwa always seems to know how much he can get away with, and this little trick that he used last game to build the gateway first in this mix, it can potentially seem very, very threatening, but if you can time it out right, you end up being okay. The problem on Tal'Darim Altar, though, is that with this huge, wide open space, you can't do the clever wall off that you can on other maps, and it looks like Naniwa is going to take the opportunity to throw down a pylon as a result. If I can't get my gateway and my tech up quickly, then by God, you can't get your expansion up quickly.
Yeah, instantly you occupy the idle hands of those Zerg, and we do have a couple of the Zerglings. We do have a couple of Zerglings making their way out of the map, and there we see the gateway going down. The photon cannon has well been done, and now we just have probes coming out. It's literally like a droning Protoss right now as he'll start to get ready for his next phase of the build. Meanwhile, the hatchery has gone down for Moon, and it looks like Moon is going to be the first to be active about getting control here of the Xel'Naga towers. And on this particular map in these positions, the 2 towers that Moon does hold are incredibly important just due to the vision that it does give you there.
I mean, that's one of those things where, in a sense, it's almost nice to go for an early pool just so you can secure these key vision positions on the map. It's very easy to overvalue getting that hatch up early and forget about the fact that if you can spot your opponent coming at you early with anything, you can be in a great position to defend. Especially Zerg of all races needs to have that excellent, excellent knowledge.
Yeah, you also get to see any sort of probes that go out, and in that case, we did see a probe chased down and killed right at the natural of the Zerg. Moon is going to see his hatchery done. At his main, he is morphing up to the lair and has his second gas. Meanwhile, down below, there is an Overlord that has managed to make his way over. It's one thing that Moon is very, very, seems to be very, very meticulous about, is making sure that he's going to have that Overlord that he can get the proper information from that he needs.
And look at this, a Stargate going down by Naniwa seems like the worst place possible for an Overlord to go down, given this huge amount of space where an Overlord could easily float in. But keep in mind that this is the center of the map. Moon actually has all his Overlords around the outskirts trying to poke in, trying trying to get some read, which it will definitely not get. And look at this, Moon is already researching the speed overlord and the drop. Moon doesn't even have a Roach Warren or a Hydra Den down. He pretty much has just Zerglings.
Well, and he's going to pump out 8 right now. I can't imagine that that's going to be what he is going to go for here. But you know what? Considering the lack of anything in Naniwa's base outside of the natural, maybe there's an opportunity here. I mean, he's still got to wait quite a while for those upgrades, but he has 14 more going in, a Baneling's Nest going down, and there's the Void Ray coming out of that Stargate for Naniwa.
Wow, and look at this. We see Moon continuing to rally to the right side, so at this point in time, Naniwa has almost no vision of anything. Look at how blind Naniwa is playing. He is relying on the timing and the strength of this build, but we're seeing Moon go for somewhat of a risky play. If all those overlords do get spotted, it could be a nightmare position. And will he end up seeing it? He's moving to the right. Uh-oh.
Oh my. He's going to see. He let the 2 Lings go. 2 Lings? What? That's not a big deal.
2 Lings? What is he going to try to do? Scout my rocks? LOL. Absolutely not. That Void Ray is going to try to pick off those overlords, and with that speed being done, Naniwa is going to try to begin suspecting at least something. That is a relatively early speed, and it looks like Moon is now moving in for the drop, and Naniwa, is going to lose all these gateways he's producing.
Oh, wow. Yep, here come 3 overlords right now, fully loaded with Lings. They're going to make their way in and drop right as these gateways are finished. We do have a couple of sentries inside, but there's going to be huge probe damage done here. In fact, the Lings are going to move back, take out those sentries. They know they've got an opportunity. He force fields the probes into the Lings, and so many probes are going to die. In fact, he's going to pick up some more Lings, go ahead and drop them over to the side. He needs to get those down before that Void Ray does take them out. He targets the wrong one, and Moon is inside Naniwa's base.
Moon is ripping apart everything inside this base. The Void Rays come back to try to do some kind of defense. A Zealot gets morphed in, but will these Wow, he let the gateways finish, so Naniwa is going to be able to produce Zealots 4 at a time. That is, I think, a big mistake by Moon, not taking the extra few seconds to kill off that pylon. Naniwa showcasing brilliant defense, building this extra pylon, getting himself more and more Void Rays. More Zerglings are getting dropped in. Banelings getting morphed on the right side. 14 Banelings do get thrown down. Zerglings now gone from attack to harassment, and Naniwa may very well stabilize.
Yeah, you know, he's going to have to, because right now the supply of Moon is in the negative. He just now got his overlords back, but he has lost all of his drop potential because of these 3 Void Rays, and now he's got to think, oh no! He loads up with the Banelings, and Naniwa targets it down. He's going to take out a few more Banelings, and he has handled this so well. I think you're absolutely right. If he would, I think he wanted blood there, saw an opportunity to maybe get things done, and not losing those gateways by Naniwa pretty much saved him with those Zealots.
Wow, Moon having to throw down so many spine crawlers to stay alive. Look at this drone count in the unit counting station. We see 29 drones to 41 probes, and Naniwa is building up the perfect mix of Zealots and sentries, trying to cover everything. No overlords down here at the bottom, but Moon is still preparing to do some little dropping action, maybe elevator those units up one at a time. But wow, with this many Void Rays, it doesn't even matter that the Spore Crawler is down. We're going to see Naniwa move right on in and maybe kill Moon off with this attack.
We've got 3 Queens moving into position, but we've got 2 Phoenix here as well to help with lifts. He's not going to go right in because there is a Spore Crawler right there, but he can take out this Extractor, the Spawning Pool, whatever. We do have some Lings and Banes that made their way in, and he did manage to take out a few, but not a whole lot. While the assault starts, there's the lift on the Queens, voided down, and this could be it.
Naniwa, even though he has an overwhelming force, still trying to target fire the layer, but it looks like, is he actually going to go for it? This could be a huge misstep by Naniwa. And there's the transfuse, and it looks like Moon does manage to keep that layer alive. Big misstep by Naniwa, losing all of those Void Rays.
Wow, that is a huge mistake. He actually, as those hiders were popping out, he probably could have melted them with 4 Void Rays in a matter of seconds. They were charged up, and then he could have dealt with the lair, but possibly just kind of smelling blood. Now, Does that mean he's going to lose the game because he lost those Void Rays? Absolutely not. In fact, he's looking pretty good. He's got his weapons research going. I mean, Moon is continuing the drops, which I can understand why, but, you know, with the cannon going into the mineral line here, they're just going to get less and less effective.
Looks like Moon is going to try to make another kill play. He's advancing with these Hydras. Do they have the range? No, they do not quite yet. He's target firing the Forge. Going to try to kill that off. And at the meantime, he has Banelings trying to roll into the back. And will Naniwa get it in time? He does notice it. But, oh, a huge hit with those Banelings. And here comes all the forces of Moon, ripping apart the front. Does Naniwa have enough? The Hydra is so slow, such vulnerable units, but Moon, the master of Hydras. Here comes back all the Phoenixes, and Naniwa looks like he is prepped to move out.
Yeah, I mean, the Phoenixes could do a huge service to these Protoss areas. Going to pick up those first two, and now there's just 3 running away. And although it did look like Moon was going to be able to break the wall with the constant reinforcement from Naniwa, he holds on. So a lot of these Hydralisks now trying to just go back to base. He's going to re-rally there. He's kind of taking care of the air threat minus these 3 Phoenixes, but that helped out Naniwa in that battle considerably. The drone count now is still very much in Naniwa's favor, 50-34, and so that attack that looked like it might be doing a little bit more damage than it did really set him back in economy.
Naniwa now just moving around with a small army of air units, trying to gain a little bit of vision control.